All right, and we're back. Welcome to Manufacture to Win Live out here from the Louisville show, and we've got the great Mark Bowersox. How are you? Or as my boys like to call him, Uncle Socks.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the intro. It's always good to be with your family and by extension you. And
yeah, well, that means you have to deal with me.
Loved it. Happy to talk to you.
Well, we're back out at Louisville, right? Another show in another year. And I know MHI has been doing a lot of stuff this past year, and big things changing in industry and rules and laws and all these other great things that are going to just make it a fantastic 26, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, you podcast listeners will get tired of me talking if I get into all the list of things. But, on the Louisville show, this is fantastic here, isn't it? This is, I don't know, the 24th year in a row or something that I've been coming here. I told somebody earlier, I remember coming here being the youngest person here and not so much anymore. And it's great to see the young people and the energy and all that going on here. It's fantastic. But no, 2026 is shaping up to be a great year. I mean, the U.S. House of Representatives passed some key legislation out of the House for us last year that affirms that HUD is going to be the sole regulator of energy standards in manufactured housing. That's a really key piece. We've got some legislative pieces on the ability to expand the types of home that we build without permanent chassis underneath. We've got some regulatory pieces on second story. We've got pieces on multi-dwelling units with a duplex that the industry came out with a couple of years ago and supporting that. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in the industry right now.
So all I hear is more sales.
I don't know why there wouldn't be more sales. Listen, there's an affordable housing need and a shortage in America. Pick your number of millions, depending on your source of realtors or census or government, or lenders backed statistics. But there's a several million dwelling unit shortage concentrated at the attainable and entry level spectrum across America. And that's where our industry excels.
Yeah, for sure. And so now with these changes opening up more opportunity to be able to provide more housing, it just makes sense that everyone would want to just dive in head first, right? And we see it, like you mentioned, a lot of energy here in the building today. And there's a buzz that you can feel in the air, whether it's industry related or tax code related changes, that are loosening up some money that should be coming. Everything's kind of lining up to be a great 26.
Yeah, without question, right? And fourth quarter of 2025, most people will say it's probably a little bit soft, and that's probably going to continue for another month or two into 2026. My expectation is that the sun will come out in the spring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Historically, the home buying season is kind of a cyclical, and you get into tax return season, which is important to a lot of our buyers, so the attainable housing buyer, and a little bit more comfort level with the interest rate stabilizing. We'll get through the Christmas bill, some of those more cyclical type of events that are going on. The need and the demand hasn't diminished, right? And that's what really we keep coming back to when you look at the big picture of housing and where manufactured housing fits into that is there's a need and a demand there, right? And there's some artificial reasons that demand is pent up right now and that people aren't buying, and there's some real reasons in people's lives that they're not buying right now, right? But that doesn't change the need and the demand. And our expectation is that that'll pick up in the next few months.
What do you see happening as far as land lease communities are concerned? What are the rumblings going on, or is it going to get easier for them, or is it still going to be difficult as far as this whole resident owned community versus?
Oh, we're going there. Huh?
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Look, there's some headwinds for our industry, and it's primarily land lease, right? If you look at media reporting and policymaker discussions, manufactured housing is very positive, very well received. Affordability, efficiency, less waste, all those types of things are very positive, right? We have a land lease community operator challenge, right? That's where the headwinds are coming from our industry. And we're doing more research to be able to come back anecdotal scenarios with facts, right? There are any number of challenges that are one-offs, right? And what we want to be able to say is, yes, I'm sorry that one resident had that one issue, but across the industry, 85% of all manufactured housing land lease community residents are satisfied with their decision to live in a land lease community. And these are the benefits of living in a land lease community. These are the benefits of owning your own home and a kind of a hybrid home ownership model where you're in a partnership with a land lease community operator, but you own your own home, right? And so, yeah, there's some challenges there, but the industry as a whole is coming together and more forthcoming with data points, which is really how you can combat those more emotional arguments that we sometimes
Right. Yeah, and you bring up the whole innovative way of doing it, right? I mean, heck, nobody thought we'd have a computer in our pocket, right? Things change, and maybe home ownership is going in that direction now with more communities popping up around the country. Obviously, there's different opportunities, but with these changes going on, with the laws and now everything else that we see happening, that hopefully is going to start clearing up in the spring.
Yeah.
More than ever right now is the time for sales consultants and anybody on the sales side to really clean up their game.
Sure.
Right? Get better, present themselves better, present the industry better. And I know that's a huge part of what MHI is involved in,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're doing. We partnered up last year. We redid this PhD program,
Yep.
which I think has been doing really well.
Yep.
People have been really getting into this. What are your thoughts now that we have that out? What are your thoughts on that part of it? Where should sales consultants be focused in on for themselves?
So I look at the industry being a little slow in the winter as the opportunity to rebuild, refine, prepare for the spring to come out, right? And if you look historically, 2024 is the most recent set of numbers that we have, that community sales, about 25% of new manufactured homes went into communities. That number has been on a decline for a while, but what that means to me is that number is ready to expand, right? And so when you talk about the community operation, particularly community salespeople, now is the opportunity to brush up on your skills, to grow in your professionalism, to be prepared for when the first time home buyer walks in the front door, that we're able to capture them and close that sale and put them in a new home rather than have them walk out and go apartment shopping as soon as they leave the lot.
Yeah. So right now is the time to really sharpen those skills, get better, and get ready for what's about to come, right? So what would be the best way or clearest way that you could say what is coming down the pipe? What do you think 2026 is going to look like?
What's 2026 going to look like? I think it depends on if you're a community operator that has a balloon note coming due that you financed at 3.5%, and now you've got to refinance it 5 years down the line. I think that's going to be a particular challenge. I think it looks different if you're a street retailer. I think that what we're seeing here this week, as well as a growing presence in the industry, and one thing that MHI is looking at is growing our presence with existing site builders to transition them and show them the potential benefits of building with factory built and the efficiencies that they have. And they don't have to worry about the subcontractors, and there's fewer inspections, and the house hasn't been, the 2x4s aren't dropped off in the mud, and then the sun comes out and warps everything, right? There's so many benefits of factory built construction. And I think we're gonna start to see more and more site builders embracing that as a way to scale up their existing business. So the exciting thing is there's so many different facets of manufactured housing. You talk about manufactured housing,
Exactly.
You can go any different direction. But there's huge opportunity in any one particular segment.
And because of that, I agree completely with what you just said. And the way I look at it is nothing but positive for anyone that's in sales. If you look at that builder developer coming into the market as a threat, I would be looking at it as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Right? I got to sharpen my skills. I got to get better because that means that something big is coming, right? And I want to be a part of it. And so just being able to take advantage of that, I think is huge. But obviously, we know the shortage, whether it's 1.8 million or 2 million a year, where there's a shortage. You're needed. This whole industry, everybody in this room is needed, and we need more people.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have had those conversations. How can we attract more talent to the industry?
Sure.
Right. And but I think that's a conversation we'll continue to have. But I think that those of us that are here now just have to apply ourselves and do better.
Yeah, look, if from a salesperson perspective, if I put on my salesperson hat, all I really want is a shot, right? Give me a shot. Let me have the opportunity to talk to that customer and see if I can feature benefit them into a home that makes sense for them, right? We don't need to force somebody into something that doesn't make sense, but we have so many different products and variety of, lakefront cottages to high pitch modulars to single section affordable homes in this building right here today. I think our industry wins more times than not when we come at it from a professional customer focused perspective.
Right.
And we need to be ready for that because I think those customers are going to come out.
That's right. Well, Mark, always a pleasure.
Always good to see you,
man. It's great to spend some time with you. Get the MHEI PhD program, right? We would greatly appreciate it if you did. And shameless plug. And but be a part of this. Come out, join us at these events, and come out and support the industry. What do you think people can do for that? What's the best way for them to really get involved and support it besides selling?
Grow your skills, right? I mean, I read, I learn, I attend things in person, virtually, whatever. And there's lots of different tools out there. Find one that works. I've been to some of your in-person training classes. They're phenomenal. If you can make that happen, there's online training, like you said, through the PhD program online, if 24 hours a day, if that suits your schedule. Get involved in your state associations or your industry trade shows and really start to understand what's going on through the industry. Because, believe it or not, everything that MHI works on in Washington comes downhill and affects everybody in this room, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
There's plenty of regulation to go around in manufactured housing, right? But there's plenty of opportunity for the most efficient and quality form of housing in the world.
Yep. Well, I love it, man. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mark, for being with us. You guys, there it is. You heard it from the horse's mouth.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Guys, take care. Awesome.
Done and done.